today we are discussing about vas differential. There are tube-like structures, taking them, this vas differential, there are tube-like structures, formed of smooth muscles, They connect the right and left epididymis to the ejaculatory duct. They are about 30 centimeters in length. Now, taking this vas differential structure, say for instance this is a testis here and we have here is a epididymis. Now after that we have a presence of vas differential. Say this is a vas differential which I am making here. This is a vas differential, and here we have a presence of a urinary bladder. Then after we have a urethra, and this vas difference is connected with the urethra. Here it is connected by ejaculatory duct. So this is the structure. This is known as a vas differential, which is helping in a connection of which provides the connection between the epididymis and the ejaculatory duct. This whole tube is about 30 centimeters in length. So it is helping especially the movement of the sperms from epididymis to the ejaculatory duct. So it helps in movement of sperms from epididymis to ejaculatory duct. If anybody asks you how this movement takes place, the movement mainly takes place due to the contraction of the smooth muscles of the vas differential. The vas differential smooth muscles, they contract and they push the sperms towards the ejaculatory duct. Their contraction helps in a movement of the sperm, also the movement of the sperms from ejaculatory duct to the urethra, then expelled out. This is the most important thing which you have to keep in mind. Say for instance, if we will go through a contraceptive measures, one of the contraceptive measures is also done in case of males. And the contraceptive measure which we have is a vasectomy. This vasectomy, it is a contraceptive method, an artificial method it is, through which we can prevent the pregnancy. How we can do this vasectomy? It's simply an incision is given into the vas differential. A cut is given to the vas differential. Then this vas differential, the cut parts are sealed off. When they are sealed off, the sperms are not allowed to move into the ejaculatory duct. They get trapped inside the vas differential. And when they get trapped, they are not allowed to move into the ejaculatory duct. They cannot move into the urethra. They are not expelled out into the vagina. What happened? These sperms, then they get trapped. They lead to the prevention of the pregnancy. We call that technique as a vasectomy. And this vasectomy is especially the permanent technique, because we are giving the incision, then we are sealing this vas differential, means it is a permanent technique. But sometimes it can be temporary. The surgeon can put the blocker here. A surgeon can put the blocker in the vas differential, and that blocker do not allow the sperms to move towards the ejaculatory duct. That means they get trapped inside the vas differential. This is a blocker here, which the surgeon can use. Is a blocker which traps the sperms into the vas differentiae do not allow them to move into the ejaculatory duct. But this blocker can be removed, so it becomes a temporary as well. But mostly the technique which is done to the, what we call this vas differentiae, is vasectomy, which is a permanent technique. That is where the incision is going to the vas differentiae and this vas differentiae is sealed up and the movement of the sperm is trapped here. Now next part of the male reproductive system which we have discussed is a seminal vesicle. The next part which we have to discuss is seminal vesicle. So we are discussing the next part of the male reproductive system is a seminal vesicle. You can also call it as seminal gland. It's also known as a seminal gland. Now this seminal vesicle, it is a saccular, it is a sac-like, that's why we call it as a saccular or glandular part of male reproductive system. It is about 5 centimeters in length. It is located below urinary bladder, and lateral to vas differentiae. This is very important points which you have kept in mind. One more important thing about the seminal vesicle is this seminal vesicle, it pours its secretion into the ejaculatory duct via ampulla. So it pours its secretions into the ejaculatory duct via ampulla. That means through ampulla. It's acting as a pocket or a sac-like structure through which the seminal vesicle pours its secretion into the ejaculatory duct. See, if we are making here an ampulla, so this is ampulla. Then after I am making here is a seminal vesicle. So this is seminal vesicle. It pours its secretion into the ampulla. So this is the ampulla here, ampulla, and this is a urinary bladder. So this is a urinary bladder, and this is a urethra, and this is a ejaculatory duct. That means the secretions of the seminal vesicle, it is acting as an exocrine gland. You have kept in mind. The secretions are poured inside the via ampulla into the ejaculatory duct. Then they pass into the urethra. They get mixed with the sperms. It forms about 70 to 80% of semen. So if we have a semen about 100%, it is 70 to 80% of it formed by the secreted by the seminal vesicle. Its secretions are alkaline. If you take its secretion is alkaline. That means it is basic alkaline. And when the secretion is alkaline, it is neutralizes the acidic environment of vagina, which prolongs lifespan of sperm, lifespan of sperms. That means the vaginal secretion or acidic, that means there is an acidic environment in the vagina. Now, when the sperms or the semen is laid inside the female reproductive tract, it is alkaline. It neutralizes the acidic environment of the vagina, which prolongs the lifespan of the sperm. The one more important thing is which secretions are secreted by the seminal vesicle. The seminal vesicle secretes many substances. The secretions of seminal vesicle are the secretions which we have is there proteins, we have enzymes, we have fructose, we have vitamin C, and we have the most important is the prostaglandin. Prostaglandins. Now, in these, some of them are most important, like we have the fructose. Fructose provides nutrition to the sperms. It provides nutrition to the sperm. That means, if you have to store the sperms in a laboratory, and when stored them, the semen is also mixed up with them, the fructose in the semen provides the nutrition to the growing sperm, to the sperms. So it derives the nutrition from the fructose. Prostaglandin is one more important. It helps in activation of sperms. It helps in activation of sperms. So as to keep them energetic, so as to keep them active. The prostaglandin is acting upon the sperm. It also helps in contraction of female reproductive tract. So these are the functions of the prostaglandin, and the fructose is providing the nutrition. But the most important thing is the seminal vesicle secretion is alkaline secretion. That alkaline secretion neutralizes the acidic medium in the vagina so as to prolong the lifespan of the sperms. In next lecture, we will discuss about the prostate gland and the Cowper's gland. Today we are discussing about prostate gland. This prostate gland is a chestnut-shaped gland. It's a chestnut-shaped gland. Locate on urethra. It is the exocrine gland which pours its secretion into the urethra, The secretions of prostate gland consists of bicarbonates, lipids, and citric acid. This prostate gland secretion is also alkaline. It's also alkaline secretion. It's also alkaline secretion. That alkaline secretion also helps or also neutralizes the acidic medium of vagina. So it is also neutralizing the acidic medium of the vagina. So prostate gland is actually the gland which we have discussed in previous lectures. Say this is the urinary bladder, then after we have this is the urethra, and it is also covering the ejaculatory duct. Say this is here we have a ejaculatory duct, then after we have this one is a prostate gland. Now this prostate gland, it is also formed of smooth muscles, so its contraction also helps in expelling out of the semen from ejaculatory duct into the urethra. So it's also formed of smooth muscles, helps in expelling of semen from ejaculatory duct into urethra. So you have to keep in mind, this prostate gland, it adds the secretions to the sperm, so it's also forming the part of semen. So it is forming about it is forming 30% part of the semen. So the secretions from the seminal vesicle and the secretions from the prostate gland, they add up with the sperm to make it as a semen. Now, the next gland which we have to discuss is a Cowper's gland. Next part which we have to discuss is a Cowper's gland. Say for instance, if this is a urethra here, if I am making it, this is a urethra, then after we have a presence of muscles here. This is a what we call a pins. Then it is covered. These muscles are this pins aperture is covered by a prepuce, and we can have this opening. We call it urogenital opening. We'll see all these one by one. But where is the presence of these? What we call these Cowper's glands? They are present on urethra. They are P-shaped glands. They are also exocrine glands. So we can take a next one. We have a Cowper's gland. Cowper's gland. If anybody asks us why we call this a Cowper's gland, it's based on the name of the scientist that is known as William Cowper. And English anatomist was it, William Cowper was the scientist. On the basis of that, we have kept its name as a Cowper's gland. But actually, they are bulb-shaped glands or P-shaped glands located on the urethra. On the basis of that, we also call them as bulbo-urethral gland. These glands, they are also exocrine glands. They are also exocrine glands, that is, they pour the secretion in the urethra. They mainly secrete lubricant. They mainly secrete lubricant, which help in easy copulation. That means that is acting as a lubricant, which helps in an easy copulation. That means inserting of the pins into the vagina. The easy insertion of the pins into the vagina is because of this lubricant which is secreted by the Cowper's gland. This Cowper's gland, it is absent in dogs. It is only seen in case of all animals, but mostly the dogs do not have this Cowper's gland. It's seen in animals, but dogs do not have. The most important thing is a bulb-like, or you can also call it P-shaped gland located on the urethra. It's acting as an exocrine gland. It pours its secretion into the urethra. Then that secretion acts as a lubricant, and that lubricant helps in easy penetration of pins into the vagina. This is all about the Cowper's gland. Now we have the term which is mainly used here, that is semen. What semen consists of? What is a semen? Now this is the question. The semen is consisting of sperms and seminal plasm. Seminal plasm is actually the secretion of glands. The glands which we have is a seminal vesicle, and we have a prostate gland. The secretion which get added to the sperm, we call that secretion as seminal plasm. So if anybody asks you what is actually a semen, it's actually the combination of sperm and seminal plasm. If anybody asks what is the seminal plasm, it's actually the secretions of the gland. They get combined together to form a semen. If you take a semen 100%, about 90% of it is a seminal plasm. And about 10% of it is sperms. So in 100% of the semen, we have about 90% of the seminal plasm and 10% of it is a sperm. Now tomorrow we discuss about the urogenital tract and about the pigs.